Well, as you said, this show is really, it's probably the best commercial vehicle show I've attended. You have all the global automakers, commercial vehicle makers, but also suppliers and infrastructure team members. So it's really all in one place, a great show to see all you need. For us, it's an important show because we connect with our customers here and have very important meetings, whether it's on the technology or it's a longer view outlook or strategy. So for us, it's a big value to be a part of the show, and you really get a feel at the show. You know, it's not just a bunch of PowerPoints. You get a feel for where the industry is headed, and every OEM has a little bit different vision for it. Of course, most of them believe in the electrified future, but it's also mixed in there with some hydrogen combustion, fuel cell technology, but generally speaking, it's a great show to get a view where your customers are headed.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So, you know, BorgWarner's been a powertrain company for 130 years, and our plan is to be here another 130 years. And the path to that is really electrification. So, you know, we've spent, and Paul can comment on this in detail, we've spent a lot of money to reposition the company the last 7-8 years so that we've got a portfolio that serves both the combustion side, and that includes hydrogen combustion, LNG, any other alternative fuel, but also be ready for electrification. And we've already started to develop and ship products for fully electric commercial trucks and buses. So, you know, it depends on where you are in the world. We expect the regions to play out differently, the markets play out a little bit differently. But the ones that are ready to go fast, we're right there with them. So we think we're well positioned. We also try to leverage our past car business scale and volume, which is ahead on electrification, so that we can serve better the commercial vehicle and off-highway market. Sure. I think what sets us apart is our customer engagement. We serve all the major OEMs, and we know what their challenges are. We know how to develop product with them, to launch product. It takes a certain discipline and knowledge to bring these new technologies to market that are highly reliable and you know, at the quality level that customers expect. So, you know, I think especially compared to some startups, we understand our customers like no one else, and we're very diversified. We're not just tied to one or two or three customers. We serve all of them globally, and I think this also makes us a stronger partner for any individual customer, because we've got insights into the market that are broad and deep, and those insights help us develop the next generation of products.
Yeah, I mean, I would echo all those things. I mean, obviously, it starts with just a broader sense of what's going on in the market, how it differs by region, how it differs by customer, and distilling all that and saying, okay, what role does BorgWarner want to play going forward? I think we've also been very proactive, just culturally. There is a culture of recognizing and sort of facing what those trends are and being proactive in addressing those. And I think you can see that just with the products that are here on the stand that wouldn't have been here 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. So I think it's combined with the knowledge and then reacting to that knowledge to make sure we're positioning ourselves to support our customers. As I mentioned before, as they go through their journey, we want to be there to support them in that path.
I mean, on a broad, you know, view, sustainability and reducing carbon, improving fuel economy. I mean, this is what the whole industry is challenged with. And what's the best way to do it? And what's a way to do it that consumers can embrace it, they can afford it? So I think this is the number one thing in front of the industry. It's also, you know, having clarity on government regulations, having long-term regulations that don't change often. I think this is also a little bit tricky today. Different governments depending on who's leading. Sometimes change those requirements, and businesses like stability at the end of the day. So that's the way we can make long-term investments. Yeah, and lastly, just this transition. At what rate will the transition happen, and which technologies will win? As you see in the show, there's lots of different ways to reduce CO2. We probably are making the biggest bet on electrification as the way to, completely eliminate CO2. But it's not the only alternative. It's going to be a journey until we get to that point. That point, we don't know when it comes. So there's lots of other options the OEMs are looking at, and of course, we want to support them in the process. But it takes a lot of investment, takes a lot of R&D, because you don't have that clarity what technology is going to win out.
Yeah, I think it is about managing in a period of uncertainty, right? I think you can, in some respects, maybe you can see here and you know where we are today, but you don't know how fast it goes, how slow it goes, how different it is by region, what the customer needs are going to be by when. And so it's really about how do you manage that in a financially thoughtful way. And I'd say that's the biggest challenge. I mean, I think we can develop, to Joe's point, if we know what we're shooting for, we can get there. It's just a matter of having managing it when that's not so certain, that's not so clear. And again, I think we have a portfolio that gives us a few more levers to pull, because if it goes a little faster, a little slower in one area or another, we can flex as we need to. So we feel good about what we have, but there's no doubt that uncertainty adds a layer of complexity that maybe wasn't there, in the prior decades before.
I mean, we consider ourselves in a very resilient space at the moment. I mean, there's many vehicles, many trucks that need a powertrain. And whether it's a combustion powertrain where we're very successful and we're going to be there a long time, or it's some of the new areas like electrification, I mean, we think we're on solid ground with our current portfolio, and there's lots of growth opportunity because our content per vehicle goes up dramatically when you're talking about an electrified truck or bus or pass car. So we think we're in a good spot. We don't need to hedge with a non-powertrain sector. And we also feel, we want to stay in the space we're in. We always dabble a little bit in adjacent markets and spaces like the industrial market, but that's not our primary strategy. Our primary strategy is mobility and the transition to electrification.
No, I agree 100%. I mean, BorgWarner at its core is a propulsion company, and there's plenty for us to stay busy with in that space. So we have to remain focused on answering the question why BorgWarner, and really a lot of that hangs off of the propulsion architectures.
Yeah, so 2024, the year is unfolding more or less as we expected. A little bit stronger combustion sales, a little bit less e-sales, but in general, it's been so far a good year. We don't provide outlooks for the following year. We're optimistic. We'll continue to see growth year over year. Our strategy is to outgrow our end markets. So, but we'll give more guidance on that early next year. And then finally, India is a very important market for BorgWarner. We've been there for over 30 years, both with wholly owned entities and also joint ventures. We continue to invest in India. We expect, mid to high single digit growth there over the next 5, 7, 10 years. And we see lots of opportunities in India. And it's just a great country to also do business in. And our customers, I think, would share with you the environment is right to do business in India.
Yeah, no, I mean, same perspective. I mean, I think the outlook, Joe did a great job with that. And again, India is obviously, it's a critical market for us. I think, as we talked about before, both for production as well as for engineering talent. It's a big part of, particularly as we look forward, a lot of software capabilities that we're building there, big investments we've made. And, we're very happy with our presence there and look forward to growing there going forward.